Seriously, good evening. My name is Rob. Just so you know, I spell Rob with 2 B's. I used to spell it with 1, but everybody thought I was trying to rob them. As a matter of information for you, and this isn't a joke, you might see something funny on my arm here. That is actually for a PIC line, if anybody knows what that is. The Lord has spared me from death twice this year, utilizing this tool with an IV bag hooked up to it, an antibiotics company. So I'm off my dose right now, so get hooked back up later. But just so you don't have to look at it and wonder what it is. I live here in Corona, but I was born in Garden Grove, California. Of course, we call it Garbage Grove, and I lived at the corner of Trash and Dumpster. My father was of royal Scottish descent. My family were a royal mess, too. My mother, well, she was adopted, so we're kind of like a Heinz 57 variety, you know? That does explain a couple of my sisters. Anyhow, you know, I'm approaching 40 right now, and I realize that the longer I live, the older I get. But getting older isn't all that bad, though. I mean, you know, you get to walk a little slower, and you get to dress funny, and hey, in a few years, I'm going to get some really cool discounts. I'm getting gray and white in my beard now, as you can see, but you know, that's okay, because, you know, when I go to a restaurant, I got my own salt and pepper. Yeah. You know, I'm having a little trouble sleeping these days now that I'm getting older, you know. I lay awake at night thinking about things that bother me, you know. Things like whether or not I get enough sleep at night. And I worry about the usual guy things, too, like money and politics and whether or not I got on clean underwear. Thanks, Mom! Yeah, I love to camp, you know, and the whole camping experience. Yeah. But, you know, I got to wonder, what happened to the good old days of camping? It used to be, you know, you set up the tent and level the trailer, you build the campfire, and by the time I was done, I was always sweaty, stinky, and smoky. But now, you just kind of push a button, and everything pops out, and it's leveled, and the fireplace is burning. Well, now that I've grown up, my wife and I, we enjoy the RV lifestyle. But I got to tell you, something that really bugs me, people that drive motorhomes that shouldn't be driving motorhomes. I mean, seriously, if you walk like this, you shouldn't be driving a motorhome. You know, I love to watch these people park their motorhomes. It's the funniest thing. Jody and I last weekend, we took the RV out. You know, we're sitting there in our campsite, you know, kicking back in our lounge chairs there. You know, we got our imitation palms and our pink flamingos, drinking our Kool-Aid. And up drives the Winnebago. Now, Harold is behind the wheel, and Mabel, she's out kind of directing in.
Harold! Bring it in, Harold! To the left, Harold! Now to the right! Forward! Stop, Harold! Stop!
Poor Harold. He's up there, he's turning to the left and to the right, going forwards and backwards, he's yelling obscenities out the window, and next thing I know, he's looking at me going, there goes that woman again, trying to tell me where to go. Well, finally, after they get a couple of trees sheared off and put a couple of custom holes in the side of the motorhome, they finally managed to get it parked somewhere. By that time, I'm over there going, hey, Harold, my grandma can park it better, you know, and she's 6 feet under. Thus begins an adventurous weekend. But like all good things, it comes to an end, too, and they begin to pack and get ready to leave. So they pack up, we watch them, and they pull out of their space, and I happen to notice the TV antenna on the roof, and I look up to holler at them and point to it, just as they sheared it off with the tree. And about that time I noticed they forgot to roll up their awning. Oh, Lord, I hope they remembered to disconnect the sewer hose. What's that smell? Oh, Harold! You know, if you drive an RV, you got to obey the laws of the road. And sooner or later, you're driving up, you're going to break the law, you're going to find yourself in front of a judge. Anybody ever been in front of a judge? No, don't raise your hand. You're innocent until proven guilty. No, but if you ever find yourself in front of a judge, there's some things that you really shouldn't say to a judge, you know? You don't want to ask a judge, hey, what bar do you frequent? You don't want to ask him what episode of Law and Order he's citing. You certainly don't want to say, hey, you look like Judge Wapner. Whatever you do, don't insult the judge. Don't ask him if he wants fries with that order in the court. You know? And whatever you do, don't tell him, but judge, the officer's lying. No. You know, if you end up in a court in front of a judge, it's probably because you broke the law. Probably a stupid law, too. Here in California, we have a lot of stupid laws. Did you know that in California, it's against the law for a motor vehicle to go 60 miles per hour without a driver? So apparently, as long as my car only goes 59 miles per hour or less, it can go for a joyride by itself. And did you know that in Hollywood, California, it is illegal to drive more than 2,000 sheep down Hollywood Boulevard at one time? Really? With all the developers, are there still 2,000 sheep left in Hollywood? But officer, there's only 1,999 left count! You know, I was in San Francisco a couple of months ago, and they said I couldn't take my gun on the streetcar with me. Apparently, hunting rabbits from the streetcar is illegal. They must have hunted them to extinction. Have you ever seen a rabbit in San Francisco? And that's the same city that says you can't walk your elephant down the street without a leash. Seriously, who's the leash for, the elephant or you? Hey, Dumbo, can you speed it up? You know, right up the road in Norco, California, it's against the law to own a rhinoceros without first purchasing a special use permit. And throughout California, it is against the law to shoot any animal from a moving vehicle except a whale. Now that might explain the backup on the 91 freeway. You know that law about no drinking and driving? In Indian Wells, California, it's against the law to drink cement. Apparently, you can be arrested for being stoned. Thank you. You've been a great audience. Good night.